Welcome back to the Riverside Church podcast, where our mission is to equip you to share the gospel in everyday life. And in this series of podcasts, we are doing that by talking and sharing information from our local ministry partners that we either have worked with in the past or we work with on a regular basis. And today we have, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's the Community Christmas Store?
Correct.
Okay, Community Christmas Store. So we have Angie here and Erin.
Yes.
Erin. Okay, Erin with an E.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Just making sure I get that right. So I just want to take a few minutes just to get to know you guys. Maybe a little bit of your walk with Jesus, how that's influenced coming into this ministry, and maybe just how you got started in it in the first place. So Angie, we'll start with you. Just give us your name and a little bit of background and maybe how you got started.
Yep. Angie Apgar, and the Christmas store started in 1993, and in 1994, Pat Dew, a realtor at Barker Realty who was involved, said, "You need to be involved." So I took her advice and I got involved with her. At that point, Barker Realty was doing a bicycle drive, and just each year I got more and more involved. And when these families come through, you see the blessings, and for me, I could not be involved.
Yeah.
So it's just the heart of Christ that's in me, and the love that I have for people, and wanting to serve others and meet needs. And that's just what God has instilled in me, and that's why I'm still a part of the Christmas store.
Awesome. Erin?
Yeah, so I have a unique story. I haven't had the longevity that Angie has, but fairly close. My mother has served within the community Christmas store for close to that 30-year mark, currently serving as our treasurer, but as a middle school and high school child of a community Christmas store board member, it becomes part of your family tradition.
Yeah.
So watching my parent be the hands and feet and serving the community it's just a part of me. I became a core volunteer in 2018 when they roped me in as the toy lady, and find great joy in serving that role, and sometimes have to remind myself not to take that title that I hold dear as toy lady as a me thing.
Oh, yeah.
And reminding myself and our fellow board members that it's a them thing.
Right.
And that we're serving the masses,
Yeah.
especially this year. But as Angie's trying to transition outside of a higher level role, I have this year been trying my best to fill her shoes in serving a presidential role plus the toy coordinator role.
Oh, cool. Okay, so lay that out. What is the toy? You called it the toy lady? Okay. And I see your name tag. That's awesome,
Yes.
by the way. I love that. I saw you put that on like 2 seconds before we started filming. I was like, yes, that's great. So what does that mean? What is toy lady? Like, what do you do?
Well, that title came from a recipient.
Oh, okay.
It's a husband and wife that come to the Christmas store each year. And he, after I blessed the socks off of him, 1 year, the next year, he's like, "Hey, look, it's the toy lady."
Yeah.
And
It stuck.
it's become
yeah.
my coin title.
That's awesome.
Again, I don't take that as a me thing,
Right.
but if that helps us gain recognition
Yeah.
within our community,
Absolutely.
then that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you ask what does a toy coordinator do, I ask for toys. I find great deals. I load up my car on a regular basis when going to Ollie's or Walmart or Hamrick's or Kohl's most recently. And we search out good deals,
Okay.
use coupons to maximize the donation dollars that we're blessed with.
That sounds like a dream job.
I would love to have this as my full-time job.
What do you mean it's not?
Yeah.
I guess I should say dream role.
Yeah, and that's actually a great point that you just opened that door
Yeah.
to. None of our volunteers are paid staff
Oh, wow.
within the community Christmas store, and it truly is a work of the heart.
Yeah.
And for many of us, this is a 12-month
Yeah.
of the year job, not
Right.
just the month before
Yeah,
Christmas.
I was going to ask you about
Right.
that because, when you hear community Christmas store, it's so easy to just jump to like, okay, that's something we start hitting hard in November and we, kind of drum up. So can you just paint like a broad picture, and maybe we'll narrow down after that, but like, what is the broad picture? And whoever wants to hit this question, you both can, but when you say community Christmas store and someone who's never heard that before and they're like, oh man, what is that? Like, can you just paint a broad picture of what that is?
So we work year round. Our budget this year is probably closer to 80 to 90,000 to serve the families, and we're a little short of that right now. But we try to be creative. We do a bingo event twice a year. We try to partner with other entities that will come in and say, hey, we'd like to sponsor this, or we'd like you to do this. And, just any kind of event we can come up with. Our board and the inner circle group comes up with ideas, and then we go out to our volunteers and say, hey, we need some hands and feet to help with this. We try some new ideas each year. We've done a motorcycle ride before. I think we've done maybe a golf tournament. We've talked about maybe a pickleball tournament or something.
cool.
Just lots of ideas we toss around, and we
Yeah.
try to find people to partner with us to help make those happen.
Gotcha.
So we raise the money that
Yeah.
comes in. We apply for grants. We have a lot of businesses and individuals that will send in donations each year. We have a Giving Tuesday where we are having matching funds, and that's
The it's the Tuesday, the first week of
Yeah.
December.
Okay.
The
That
Tuesday.
first Tuesday.
And that's
Okay.
a
Sorry.
national recognition day now
Right,
for
right.
charities.
Cool.
The other, we can take donations not just by the dollar. We did some unique things this year. We have a great partnership with the American Legion here in Salem. They help us host those bingo events that have become very popular within our community. But also in July, we did a brand new fundraiser, and instead of asking for donation dollars, we asked for household items. So when our recipients come to our quote store, it is set up just like a Walmart or a typical store that anyone would go to with the metal shelving
Right.
and even a checkout.
Yeah.
But what they collect are food items, a clothing item for any eligible individual within that family, and a household item. And then if there are children ages newborn to 12, they come and see me in the toy department.
Of course.
But the household item is one of our largest dollar-wise
Right.
item, and that's anything from an electric blanket to a toaster, and easy drop $10 or $20 like on a
Right.
Basic model.
Sure.
And so we asked families in our community in July to fill the sleigh, and they showed up. They showed
wow.
up for us, and we collected just under 100 items
Wow.
that year. And so, 100 times 15,
Yeah,
that
yeah, for
helps
sure.
us not to have to use those donation dollars now that it's game time
Yeah.
to, you know, have to go and purchase. It also
Yeah.
saves us time. We can focus our efforts more on raising dollars for
Gotcha.
another department. But I have a toy drive coming up that we partner with Chick-fil-A Salem.
Oh, cool.
And instead of filling the sleigh, we fill a bus. And so actually Bethel Baptist
Oh, cool.
provides a big yellow school bus that draws attention from the road every year. And then, of course, who doesn't love Chick-fil-A? And Shane and Vanessa Miles are so gracious to us. And so anyone that brings a unwrapped toy item for a newborn to 12-year-old, we gift them with a free original Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Oh, cool.
And so that's next Saturday,
Okay.
the
22nd?
November 22nd,
Gotcha.
from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we'll definitely have that linked. Is there like a Facebook link or something out there?
We do, of course, have
Okay.
that Community Christmas Store Facebook page.
Okay.
We also have a LinkedIn page, and then our website has
All the
a
links. And,
bounty of
Yeah.
information from how to donate to what we're doing right here and right now, to what our needs are.
Gotcha. Okay. So to me, not being super familiar, but a little bit with the Community Christmas Store, it sounds like, 12 months out of the year, you're doing fundraising efforts, you're doing events, you're drumming up support. When does you talk about in December, right? You have this big just wave of people what does that application process look like, and who applies? Like, what is the demographic of people?
So we serve low-income families from the city of Salem, Roanoke County, town of Benton, and Craig County. So we have application dates that are posted on our website and our Facebook page, and you need to show up. There's a list of information you need to bring with you when you apply. And we had our last application date this past Saturday. So we have, that has been cut off at this point for
Yeah.
this year's store. But the recipients are given that day a slip of paper with the date, time, and location. We will be at the old Big Lots building this year.
Oh, gotcha.
So we're in the process of getting that set up now,
Yeah.
which is
A
lot of
grand
labor.
undertaking.
Yeah. So we don't have a permanent location, never had a permanent location. We
Gotcha.
go into hopefully a space that we'll be allowed to use at no charge. Sometimes we've had to pay rent. Sometimes we cover utilities. But we bring everything out of storage. It's shrink wrapped on pallets. We take it all out. And like Erin said, we have metal shelving that has to be put back together. We've had this metal shelving for years, so it doesn't always go together very well.
Yeah.
But we have some guys that know how it works, and we get crews in there. The Burton Center was great. They sent over a crew to help us get started. Sometimes you got a couple of hammers that kind of move parts around to get it in there and fasten
Yeah.
correctly, but we get it done. We should have that finished up this Thursday. We have volunteer hours scheduled
Okay.
where people from the public, if you just want to come in and help us, clean up, set up, make everything look nice and festive, we welcome that. And that's also posted on our Facebook page. You can
Awesome.
reach out and volunteer your time, and we'd love to see you.
So
Yeah.
setup is the first part of serving families after that eligibility process, but the actual store shopping days is always the second week in December. So we're serving Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 11th, 12th, and 13th this year. And on Thursday is a little unique. Thursday, we try and focus on those larger families. And when I say large, this year they've taken 2 application forms to complete one family application. So, when we say they're large, they're actually extra large, and that's 10 or more family members in one household, and then we serve those individuals in the morning of that Thursday to allow extra time. Just like when you go for a haircut, it's different than when you might get color. And so, that's kind of how we think with regards to scheduling. And so, you need a little extra time to allow them that honor, dignity, and respect of being able to make selections for their families.
Yeah.
And that's what's a part of our shared mission with the Community Christmas Store is that we provide them that opportunity to select those unique needs for Maddox, who's a 2-year-old that we would be serving and that loves construction toys or Spider-Man or, is the future tradesman from, all things I could tell in that, eligibility process. Or Spencer that, is an organ recipient and he and his family, struggle with medical bills. It's just our opportunity to help alleviate some stress from their day-to-day needs and ensure that the magic of Christmas shines through our organization.
Right, and that's so important. I kind of want to maybe just take a bird's eye view for a minute of just what is the feeling when you're involved in this type of work? Because it is work throughout the year, and especially, I'm sure that that weekend, I'm sure that's a lot of work. What makes you keep showing up? What is the driving force of? I love those examples you gave, and I think that just made me think being the hands and feet of Jesus. I've heard that several times.
Yeah.
How does that, when you see that family, can you just describe that for yourself and maybe just other volunteers that you've had come along the way throughout the years?
We hear a lot of stories at application. We hear stories when families come through, and it's just unbelievable, especially with the government shutdown now and some money not even going out. But when you have a lady sitting in front of you and she gets $40 for groceries, I can't identify with that, and you want to do something. You want to do more than what we can do, in fact. So when they come in, we want to treat them like family, and we want them to feel very comfortable. Some of them have not been in that situation, and this is the first time they've had to reach out for help. So we're just very happy that we can be there for them. So if you can visualize, they come, they check in at their day and time, and we have a host that grabs a shopping cart with a big black bag in it, and some of them may have 2 or 3 shopping carts behind them. But they come through, and they get to go to the food aisle, and select what they want. It's not pre-selected for them. So, my kid doesn't eat peas, but, we like some green beans.
Right.
We really need some canned meat. We'd love to have some canned fruit in the house. They can select what they want.
Well, I'm sure that, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm sure that's a huge contrast to, and not knocking what food pantries and stuff do, but usually when you go to somewhere like that, you're getting the same box of mac and cheese, you're getting the same ramen, the same peanut butter.
Yeah.
You're getting the same staple items, which are necessary, and that's good that those organizations provide that. We're actually meeting with Salem Food Pantry next week to film a podcast.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be awesome to hear their heart and their mission as well. But being able to have that agency to be oh, I like that thing more than that thing, and just be able to select it off the shelf, I'm sure that's huge.
It is, and we don't know what to expect. When we get the USDA food in, we don't know what's going to be on those pallets, and we like to fill that gap. We like to give them more than what they might find at a food pantry.
Right.
So that's where we partner with churches and schools, and they do food drives, and we get so excited. I remember when you were at West Salem with my daughter, they used to do bring cake mix or icing to vote for the Virginia Tech UVA game.
I remember
and
that.
Yeah. So
wow, I do remember that. Wow.
So they try to make it fun. The principal will take a pie in the face. I mean, they can really make more of it, and letting their students know what they have done is also really good to see. We've had some of them that'll come in and bring a class to see the store
Oh, wow.
after and
That's
say,
cool.
hey, look, you were part of this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really nice to see and to get the wow factor that comes from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, after they go through the food aisle, the host makes sure they go to the departments they're supposed to go to. So they go in and they select clothing items.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, my kid only wears sweatpants. So don't give me some jeans. Pick out sweatpants.
Right.
They don't like the color red, but they love blue. They pick out a blue top.
Yeah.
It is truly a shopping experience. They go through and they hunt down the toy lady and they select the toys that their kids are going to want to play with.
Wow.
And, if they need a sensory toy, Erin is great when she does her shopping, when she goes through the list. If there's any special requests that have come in, she's on it. Let me tell you, I don't know how she keeps track. I am not that organized, but she does a fantastic job.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They finish up at the end and they check out. The checkout process is making sure they received what they were supposed to receive.
Gotcha.
No money changes hands.
Yeah. Wow.
And to see these people go out the door, and don't make me cry,
Oh.
we'll have enough tears at that time. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I think what you said, Erin, dignity. And I think you've both said it throughout this, just giving people the dignity that often they just no opportunity to have that anywhere else. I mean, I can imagine, I know from personal experience, and it makes, anytime I sit down with people and I have these conversations, I'm like, maybe it's a little bit too much of my dad in me, but I'm like, how can I get involved? What can I do?
Yeah.
I'm like, let me be a part of it. Yes. So we'll talk about that. But,
Promise.
yeah, I remember times growing up where I was the recipient of some of these things, and maybe not necessarily at the community Christmas store, but the programs that happened in the schools and different things in the churches and stuff. Like, I remember going in shopping for toys when I was younger and, walking out and not having to pay anything for it. I'm like, wait, you mean I can get whatever I want, Crazy. So I know kind of what, in a sense, that feels, especially from a kid's perspective.
Yeah.
Just being able to have that dignity and that like choice.
Sure.
And I think that's something that, like, when we talk about being the hands and feet of Jesus, I think it's something just like seeing the people for who they are and not seeing them as a number only. Not just seeing them as, here's what I can do for you, but here's a person in need. And yes, you are doing something for them, but it's not because it's not for your own glory. I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
No,
it's for the glory
and
of
we're
God.
there. We love on them. We hug on them. We pray with them if they want prayer. We take home some of their burdens and could lift them up and their families in prayer after. So yeah, it's a lot more than giving them some physical items, some tangible things that they might need.
Right.
It goes way beyond that.
And that's just something you don't get with like a government program.
Right.
The government programs are not equipped for that, obviously, because it's not a church. It's not church people all the time. We just had a conversation with Care Portal, it's like a online portal that you can meet needs for people individually, kind of being the hands and feet. Yeah. And so it's kind of thematic that we're kind of moving from that to this. And I think it's just a blessing what you do. And I'd love to get involved. But you had some numbers, and I'd like to just throw out some numbers for people who may not understand, like, oh, maybe this is just a little thing that you guys do. You said $80,000 to $90,000 budget. How many people does that help? And what are your goals like this year and next year? If you can talk a little bit about that.
Well, first off, our budget is short. And part of that was the increase. I mean, everybody's seen that. Everything costs more. Yeah. So we're not able to find as many deals as we used to. So, we don't want to cut back on what we give the families, but we may have to in certain ways. But there's still time to give. There's still time to meet that number and fulfill the needs of every family and every family member that comes through.
Yeah, so last year I served 548 newborn to 12-year-olds in the toy department.
Wow.
And each child that's represented within every family receives a book, a plush item, so that's either like a blanket or an oversized pillow, a bag of stocking stuffers, and then the parents or guardians can select 3 items per child off the shelves. And I don't want to change that this year.
Right.
And we have had those hard conversations like, okay, so do they only get to select 2 items off the shelf this year? They're still walking away with great items, but does it need to look different?
Right.
And right now we need probably about $20,000 more, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
We have a budget per outfit, and I've also had the opportunity this year to shop for teen boys, and having teen boys in my household. I mean, I know $90 for one pair of joggers,
Yeah.
was a shocker this, recently, in our household, and basic black, but we can't do that,
Yeah.
when shopping for the organization, but yet we don't want, the family's, selections to be, below par either.
Right.
And so, utilizing coupons plus Kohl's Cash or, savvy sales, is how we best shop. And so trying our best to stay within a $30 or $35 budget for a teen outfit, that's a top, bottom, undergarments,
Right.
socks, is tight. It's tight when, just pants alone are, on sale right now are
Yeah.
$29.99 easy.
Sure.
And so, just trying to be savvy with when and how we utilize those funds. But we do set budgets for how we can best maximize our tangible
Yeah,
funds.
absolutely. So right now, the best thing for people to do is donate for this year, and that's just to help you meet your goal of your applicants that you
Yeah.
currently have.
So we participate with community events like this Saturday at Salem High School. They're having their crafts show for the band boosters.
Right.
We will have a table there selling stuff to try to raise some money. We have the toy drive coming up, and then we have the Giving Tuesday. But yeah, you can donate new items at any time when we're open for volunteers to come in. But yeah, if you can give us the funds, trust me, they are well spent.
Yeah.
We are tax exempt at certain stores. So, they're thrifty.
Yeah.
They will stretch that dollar.
And if people who maybe like to shop, that's good news to hear that you can donate items. Is there any parameters that you would give people listening? As you said, new items.
Yeah, so if they're going to bring something new, I would suggest it be a toy
Okay.
or household item
Gotcha.
or food.
Gotcha.
The clothing, we really can be more thrifty with that dollar
Yeah.
and putting together those outfits and with relationships that we have with certain stores.
Right.
So I would leave that to the department chairs that
Okay.
are getting those items.
Good.
But our big need, if you're someone's wanting to donate food, would be canned fruit and canned meats. We're
Yeah.
really short on those items.
Cereal.
Yeah,
And
and
cereal.
cereal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
The other items that some of our departments also need are always socks and underwear. They are expensive,
Yeah.
and silly for something that you don't even see. But also diapers, wipes, adult diapers, pull-ups, feminine hygiene items are all just extra elements that we can
Yeah.
provide for those unique needs.
For sure.
And you also shared your sweet story. If we have time, each of us have our why for how and why
Oh,
we
absolutely.
serve. Yes, it was a tradition, of that my mother paved for me in serving, but I too found myself in 2008 pregnant with surprise baby number two, and we had two houses. We had a house that we were living in, and we were building a house. And my husband was working in the housing industry, and that's when the economy tanked. And had a brand new baby living in a brand new house, and had a local church bring us food. I had to close a business because of health reasons, plus having, my husband's business, go under. And so, humbly finding yourself living in, a brand new, beautiful home, and have supposed to be a joyous time with, 2-year-old and a brand new baby, and having a church bring me food.
Yeah.
Like, wow. So that was, kind of my why for serving. And many of our families that come through the line have those tears in their eyes as well, like I do now, sharing with you my why. But they make promises of, when I'm on my feet, I'll be serving.
Right.
And we've had that. Last year, we had a young single mom show up and help set up the shelving because she had been served years in the past. And we love, those pay it forward kind of tales.
Yeah, absolutely.
And but yet at the same time have families that come through. I sat across from a lady who said, "You remember me, right? You remember me." And I had sadly the past couple of Christmas stores. Our family have had deaths in our families, like while we're serving, and this particular individual had just lost her daughter to a great tragedy. And I had literally just been told while serving families that my grandmother had passed. And so like we shared that bond, and she, asked me, "Do you remember that?" She's like, "I pray for you all the time." And so, these families are truly a part of us. And we are more blessed in our giving and are more blessed in our receiving at the same time.
Absolutely. I feel like that's, going back to it, the ability to sit with someone or to walk with someone through their hardest time.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you're explaining to me is like, the host or whoever gets to walk along with them, and you have opportunities throughout to pray for them, to just be with them, and to lend an ear. And I can't. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, and it's so big right now of like socially being seen,
Right.
and sometimes these recipients are the ones that fall through the cracks.
Right.
They may not, have grand needs to where they're necessarily qualify for a lot of government assistance, but yet, I mean, to see some of, like, I don't even understand, how some of them on a weekly basis provide food on their tables based on even the little bit of assistance that they receive through the year. Why can't we make, Christmas, and why shouldn't Christmas be the most bountiful time of year?
Absolutely. So can I ask you, Christmas, that's like a community Christmas store.
Yeah.
How much of the, and maybe this is a silly question, but how much of the, like when you're going through this, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the magic of Christmas. You know, you always hear the magic of Christmas, and it's a big thing. And maybe it's less, you know, like Christmas, I feel like has been more commercialized. How much do you see that like magic being brought back to, and maybe you see it more with kids, you know?
Well, that is something that's unique that we haven't necessarily stated is as the recipients walk through, they do have a scheduled date and time of those 3 shopping days to attend, but no one under the age of 18 is present.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
that is part of our opportunity to provide the parent or guardian with the opportunity to be the givers
Gotcha.
of the gifts that they select at
Yeah.
no charge from our community shelving.
And that's just an empowerment to those parents, I can imagine.
And that is a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, and that's everything from that black bag that's in their cart that helps to disguise, you know, that, I've got a bluey power wheel right now, and I am so excited to be able, you know, to see someone select for their sweet child, or a scooter,
Yeah.
or a basketball, or soccer nets were really popular last year. So you know. It's disguised. They have the
Yeah.
opportunity, and they choose when and how they tell their families. You know,
Gotcha.
whether it's even under a tree that we help provide.
Oh, wow.
We have individuals. That's the only used item that we allow. Or take in are Christmas trees that may be old at my house but new at someone else's.
Right.
You know, last year we had, I think it was a 5-year-old that was something that they just that's all they said that they wanted for Christmas was, can we have a Christmas tree at our house?
Wow.
And I mean, like, how simple, how basic, like how it just helps center me.
Yeah.
I have now 19 and tomorrow 17-year-old in my house, and like this helps them understand.
Yeah,
This
it's
through the
reality check.
years has helped them see. They don't remember my why that you know helped
Yeah.
create this future family tradition for
Yeah.
us, but they know that this is a part of our Christmas every year, and that's so important to me. And I mean, Christmas is supposed to be about joy, and we hope that those 430 families that we will serve this year, they might not necessarily hear the story of Christ as we're serving, but that they can see
Right.
us walking out
Yeah. Absolutely.
that mission.
You know, I'm reminded of the verse that, you know, to be a light in the darkness. There's plenty of verses like that, but you said you don't necessarily have the opportunity to share it, but you do. You are. You know, you are sharing it just by going and doing. And so I thank y'all for sharing with us and just, you know, enlightening people on to what it is, how they can get involved. I'm excited about it. I want to, you know, jump in and hands and feet and head and shoulders and everything in, because I think that's just an awesome tradition, and it's a way that families can show their kids maybe a little bit of a reality check of, hey, we're serving because that's what Jesus called us to do. And do you have a lot of like families that come in and serve together? Is that something that...
Well, right now with our setup, we allow
Right.
any age to
Gotcha.
come in. So parents will bring their kids and say, you know, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it. I have like a basketball team, 14 and under basketball team that's coming in soon to help with set things up and get it all decorated and
Wow.
Christmas decor everywhere, shelves wrapped in Christmas paper. It's, you know, we play Christmas music when they come through, and it's a real joyous time, and that's what we want them to experience when they come in. But then when the actual families come through, you have to be out of grade school,
Yeah.
and to serve at that point.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, is there any other final information or just things maybe we haven't hit on that you guys want to share?
I mean, you shared your verse that came to mind. Mine, I love James, and so James 1:2, consider it all joy.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was reminded as a young mom, it's monotonous of changing diapers and all of the many tasks that you must do. Well, sometimes the job of being a board member with a nonprofit is overwhelming. And so we just have to kind of focus too on, consider it all joy. And so even on our hard days, even on those days where, we're having big brainstorming sessions or trying to figure out, how we'll make something work, we still can consider it all joy, knowing that those 430 families are our why, and that's our mission, is serving them with honor, dignity, and respect in all that we do.
Wow. Awesome. Well, cool. Website, where can people find the website?
Yeah, so Roanoke Valley CCS.org is our website, and we have a great technology guru who's also a part of our leadership team, who couldn't be with us today, but she's the fingers behind how that works. Thank goodness. And that is something that's unique about our resource. Each one of us bring a different type of resource, to the table. But our big mission and kind of a coined phrase for the community Christmas store is full hearts and full carts. So that's our mission, to allow the families to leave with full hearts, us serve with full hearts, but make sure those carts that go out that back door to load into the car are full.
Wow, awesome. And then you said you've got the I don't think the podcast will drop before the Salem High School event.
Right.
But it will drop before next Saturday, the 22nd, in which you could go to
Chick-fil-A Salem, and fill the bus with a unwrapped toy, newborn to 12-year-olds, new unwrapped toys. And again, that location is so very close to our building, our pop-up location this year. They are also on West Main Street in Salem.
Cool, awesome. And then so for people who maybe are watching this and they're like, oh man, I missed it this year, how can they get involved next year? Just by going to the website and contacting you there, or is there a process for that?
Yeah, so our website, RoanokeValleyCCS.org, is open all year long, not just Christmas. And there's always a green Donate Now button.
There you go.
So that you can utilize that. We have an online giving process.
Gotcha.
We also have a P.O. Box 616 Salem that we select or take in snail mail, if you want to call it that. A donation dollar is useful any time of the year. Sometimes, we do catch those best sales in January, just like we do in our households, give the teen boys a gift card and they, hit the after Christmas sales. Well, so do the best shoppers. Those donation dollars are great at any time. Check in our website. Also, we'll be able to see other events that we do, like that springtime bingo, which will probably be in March or April.
Okay.
Great opportunities throughout the year.
Yeah, and we'll have a open meeting in March. So anyone that wants to know how last year this year, 2025 went. We'll give out all those final numbers. We'll set our goal for fundraising for that year. And then if anyone wants to get involved, we need bakers. We have bake sales at almost everything we do. So if you want some good sweet treats, you need to show up at our events.
So now you're hitting our church, ladies, because
Yes.
you see me over here. I'm the product of many a bake sale. Yeah, awesome. Well, I thank you guys so much, Erin and Angie, just for coming and talk with us for a little bit, just giving not only our folks in our congregation, but anybody else out there who happens to be, maybe they searched up, they heard Community Christmas Store and they find this podcast, or they're just looking for help or ways to get involved. I think this is a great resource just for people to understand what you do, how you do it, the heart behind it. So I just thank you both for sharing your hearts and sharing your whys. I think that's so important because at the end of the day, it's all about Jesus, and it's all about sharing him with people and being him for people. So I think
Full hearts and full carts.
full hearts and full carts. Yep, that'll be stuck in my head all day now.
Good.
Well, thanks for having us, Seth. We appreciate the opportunity to get out there and let people know more about us.